can't do this anymore. I'm not sure how I can handle this,
says Gabe. Gabe is a 16-year-old boy in his junior year of high school. He is an honor roll student taking 6 AP classes. He's stressed out for college admissions and the upcoming AP test in May. He only has 4 months to prepare for the biggest challenge of his life. One day, Gabe was walking home after his daily tutor at 6 p.m. While walking home, there was a loud bumping music and car screeching coming from behind him. The windows rolled down, and there is his older brother, 18-year-old Ren.
Hey little bro, you need a ride back home?
Ren said. The girls were loud in the back, admiring Gabriel's cuteness.
No, I'm okay. I'm almost there anyway,
Gabriel replied.
Okay, we'll see you later,
said Ren. Ren soon drove off and left Gabriel to walk the rest of the way home.
How late will he come home this time?
Gabe thought. He believed Ren was up to bad stuff every day, like partying or doing drugs. While he drove off, Ren looked back in his rear view mirror and thought,
Man, I hope he is okay. Too much schoolwork can stress him out like crazy.
Gabe comes home and drops all his stuff in his room to finally lay in his bed. Being the co-president of Keep Club, a national honor student, and a devoted volunteer worker can take a lot out of you.
Sophomore year is so hard. How can I handle all this as a junior and a senior?
Gabe contemplated. He got up out of his bed and knelt, praying. It was the only way for him to calm down, the only way to soothe his mind. Being very religious, praying was a scapegoat from all the stress he overcomes every day. Gabe deeply thought about his brother's whereabouts.
Where would he be right now?
Gabe thought. Hours went by and Gabe fell asleep at his desk trying to study. It was about 2 a.m. He was already done with all his work. The fatigue and sleepiness got to him, though. He was awoken by the sound of the door closing. Gabe decided to go and see what it was. He soon found Ren coming home through the front door.
Hello? Where have you been?
Asked Gabe.
Why are you still awake? It's 2 a.m. Go to sleep, Gabe,
said Ren.
Ren, you need to wake up and get yourself together.
Gabe replied.
What do you mean?
Said Ren.
You're never home. You're always partying, hanging out with girls, or doing drugs. You need to get your life together. You're doing so bad you might not even graduate high school. What you're doing right now could potentially be ruining your life, and I'm worried,
yelled Gabe.
Gabe, you're too young to understand. You have no idea what is actually going on, and that gives you no right to yell at me like that,
Ren said angrily. Gabe argues back.
I'm only 2 years younger. What would I not understand? I'm not a child anymore, so stop treating me like one.
Ren soon walked out in frustration and slams the door behind him. Gabe begins to cry out of all the anger built up from the argument. The two decides to sleep the night off and hope for a better day tomorrow, and everything specially between those two. The next day, Gabe starts to worry even more about school. His physics test is becoming a big stressor on Gabe. This test features various subjects that Gabe didn't learn. He is underprepared for this physics test, and he knows it. But being the busy student he is, he does not study and performs horrendously on the test. Gabe gets a C on his test and gets very upset. This C ends up having a big impact on him. He is going through a lot of things, thinking that he won't be able to in college.
This is the end. I don't have an education for college, and I'm going to end up homeless, living on the streets.
Gabe thought. After all this, Ren soon notices Gabe's anger and decides to act upon the situation. Ren goes up to his younger brother to ask what's wrong.
Sophomore year is about to end, and I have to finish strong. How can I maintain my 4.0 GPA with a B? I hate physics. That's the first C I've ever gotten,
says Gabe.
Why don't you just go to sleep? You need to rest.
Ren said, tired and concerned.
You know what? Why don't you go to sleep? You come home late every night. Do you even do your homework? Mom and Dad are obviously concerned, and you don't even say anything. You need to focus and get your priorities straight.
There was a moment of silence in the room. For a bit, Gabriel felt scared. So scared that he thought he may have went too far to let his emotions overcome him.
Look, obviously you're upset. It seems I've neglected you, and I never wanted to do that. Let's go to the beach. It's where I go all the time when I feel upset.
Ren calmly sympathized.
What are you gonna make me do, huh? I'm not like you.
Gabe said.
You have the wrong idea about me, little brother. You're still too young to understand and often very close-minded. Trust me.
Ren replied.
What if we get caught by Mom and Dad? It's a school night.
Gabe said with worry.
Well, you already don't get enough sleep. They'll understand why.
Ren said.
Okay, but not too late, because I have a quiz tomorrow.
Gabe agreed. The drive to the beach felt calm. Gabriel seemed to have calmed down, and he was a little excited to hear the sound of the crashing waves. Ren, still tired and exhausted, felt happy to finally spending time with his little brother. They arrived at the beach and got out of the car.
What are we even gonna do anyway?
Gabe asked in an annoyed tone.
I don't know. Listen to the waves, feel the cool breeze, talk, maybe bond.
Ren said calmly.
Oh, okay then.
Gabe said. There was a slight pause. The only sound that was visible were the crashes of the waves against the rocks and the sun setting, reflecting in the ocean.
What's wrong?
Asked Ren. There was another silent pause. Gabe had a very hard time to open up to his brother.
A lot of things are happening right now. I want to go to a good college, and it's very discouraging whenever I get a bad score on my test. I recently just got a C on my physics test.
Said Gabe.
I want to be perfect. I want to have perfect grades. I want to succeed in life.
But that's the thing, Gabe. Not everything will be perfect. You're too young to understand all the failures and success in the world. It will take time. Just try to make a process step by step.
Ren said.
How do you know if the only thing you're doing is hanging out and partying? You don't even have your priorities straight.
Gabe argued.
Those parties were to relieve my stress. You don't understand.
Ren said.
What's stress? You don't go to school, you don't study for tests, you don't even do your homework.
Gabe said.
I've been keeping something from you from a very long time.
Ren said.
I've been working every day after school to provide for the family. Most importantly, for you. Especially because you're going to college and I want to provide support for you.
You're lying. I saw you in the car with a lot of girls.
Gabe said.
I dropped them off before work.
Ren replied.
But why are you helping me?
Gabe asked.
You don't even know if I'm going to a good college. I have a B in the class right now.
Obviously, I care about you. Like I said, not everything will be perfect. We all have our failures and differences, but that's what makes us succeed. Looking past that and growing from our failures.
Ren said.
Well, if you've been working, you obviously can't forget about homework.
Said Gabe.
You should take your own advice. You can't balance everything right now. You need to space it out or you're going to be stressed out. Sleep is important and you need to sleep and refresh your body too. If you've been working, you can't forget about your homework. You should take your own advice. You can't balance everything right now, and you need to space it out or you're going to be stressed out. You need to sleep since you always come home late.
Says Gabe.
You're right. Maybe I should cut the hours.
Said Ren.
Yeah, you should. And I'll do my best to not stress over school so much. I'm sorry I've been so close-minded. I am really surprised you'd actually work and save money for my future. That's Mom and Dad's job, Ren.
Gabe sympathetically said.
Well, it's for you, little brother. I know how far you could go with all your studies and your extracurriculars.
Said Ren.
And what about you? You can't just put your future down the drain. You need to graduate.
Gabe replied.
Yes, and I will. Just promise me you won't let the stress of school eat you alive. Have some fun too.
Ren said.
You're right. I promise.
Gabe said. The two brothers sat in silence. They reached a consensus, and from that point on, they have been more understanding of each other. Ren came home earlier than before, giving him enough time to finish schoolwork. Gabriel didn't spend hours on studying and looked to spend time with his friends more. Ren was eager to drive Gabriel anywhere he'd wanted to go, so Gabe could relieve some stress. Ren barely made it through graduation, and Gabe was able to raise his B back to an A by the end of the semester. Ren's seemingly careless nature turned out to be for a good reason, to help and support Gabriel. Gabriel's sudden outburst of anger stemmed from stress and his deep concern for Ren's health and actions. Both brothers cared deeply for each other, but had a problem showing it. Now, nothing but understanding and love grows between Ren and Gabriel.